Kuki Shinobu is a brand new 4-star Electro character coming to us here in Genshin Impact 2.7 and has been met with a rather unfavorable reception from the community. Hi, my name's Blossums and welcome to another Genshin Impact video, and today we're going to be talking about some of the complaints that the community has about Kuki Shinobu and a couple of things that I see a lot of people glossing over or just not noticing entirely about her that I think are very important before you write her off altogether. First off, let's talk about some of the complaints I keep seeing, and the most prevalent one being the fact that Kuki Shinobu just doesn't really deal any damage. Basically, no matter how you build her, she's just not going to be dishing out big damage numbers, and that's fairly okay because she is a healer, but even as a healer, her damage numbers are fairly lackluster. And a lot of this is due to the scaling on her. She has relatively low scalers and her scaling is relatively split, which is another complaint by the community, is all of the split scaling she has going for. Primarily that of her E skill, to where it wants you to have attack percent for its actual damage, and then the healing is based off of max HP, but then the damage on your elemental burst is based off of max HP, and those numbers are fairly low. But then they also want you to invest in elemental mastery for your healing and damage, but then you also need to invest in a little bit of energy recharge, so they're kind of tugging you in a lot of different directions, and if you focus in on one thing, you feel like you're missing out on another. It's kind of the same situation as Jinyan, where they want you to invest in so many stats that when you do invest in some of those stats, you feel like you're missing out on other aspects of the kit, which never really feels all that good. And I don't think these stats are really all that complicated. I'll actually have a build guide coming out this weekend if you guys want to check that out to help you build your Kuki Shinobu if you've already got her. But how you build her really isn't all that complicated, however, it is still a complaint that I was seeing throughout the community. And while those complaints are valid and have caused a lot of people to write her off altogether, I really don't think you should for a couple of reasons. The first one being the fact that Kuki Shinobu is the only Electro healer in the game. It is Genshin Impact 2.7 and nearly the second anniversary of Genshin Impact, and we finally got our very first Electro healer. It has been a while, and what this means is that, well, this simply opens up new team comps that just weren't possible before. And a great example of this is, well, the team in front of you. If you wanted a double Cryo and a double Electro team beforehand, you absolutely had to have Diona on the team for a healer, because, well, she's the only Cryo healer, which even though a team like this really isn't bad or anything, like, this is a solid team overall, I always found it a little bit more optimal to have somebody like Rosaria on the team to help out your Eula, and then having an Electro healer would be better, but we simply just never had one, and Kuki opens up that door. And there are plenty of other teams like this, especially Taser teams, that follow that same logic, to where having an Electro healer is just going to be an awesome thing for them, because it opens up avenues for different characters to be on different teams, and if that's something that interests you, then that's going to be a big factor as to whether or not you're going to want to pull for her. One other thing I don't see a lot of people considering is the fact that Dendro is right around the corner, and it is a high likelihood that Dendro is going to react with Electro, wink wink nudge nudge, and if that's the case, Kuki is going to be a fantastic support for Dendro as an elemental mastery scaling character and as a healer. Now, I don't think she's going to be the best for that reaction or anything. We do have other Electro characters that scale off elemental mastery like Yai Miko. However, you also need to consider the fact that when Dendro releases, we're likely only going to be getting a couple characters, maybe 3 max or something, when it releases, and we're not even going to be guaranteed a healer or anything for those first initial Dendro characters, so it could be some time before we get a Dendro healer. And if you really like the Electro and Dendro reaction, and maybe you want double Dendro and double Electro on your teams, then, well, Kuki Shinobu is going to be a must-have for you because of the fact that she's going to be our only Electro healer. Now, don't get too FOMO'd or anything. I do want to say that because of the fact that, well, Kuki Shinobu is a 4-star. She is going to come back around on some sort of banner, and if she does interact with some sort of Dendro character really well, then it's likely that she'll be on that banner or something. So you are almost certainly going to have another opportunity. However, it might be 2, 3, maybe even 4 updates before you see her again. It's just something to keep in mind. And with those things said, I think you should definitely consider them. I don't really think she's a terrible character overall anyway. She actually has very minimal downtime on her E skill, which is very nice, which means they're able to keep up consistent electro application off the field while keeping up some consistent healing. And also the fact that she's elemental mastery scaling is pretty nice, because if you invest into it, you can make your electro charge and overload deal some pretty decent damage overall and come up with some decent numbers overall. Nothing too crazy, but certainly not negligible or terrible. And while I don't think she's a fantastic unit, I think these reasons are enough to sit down and take a pause before you skip her entirely. But yeah, in the end, all of those Dendro talking points are just pure speculation, and for all I know, our very first Dendro character could be a healer or something. And if we do get a 5-star Dendro character that would pair really well with Kuki Shinobu, well, it would make a lot of sense for her to be on that banner, wouldn't it? They're definitely going to have another opportunity. However, I did just want to bring these points to you, and I'm not trying to tell you that Kuki Shinobu is a must-pull unit, or even a good unit at that, but the fact that she is the only electro healer and simply opens up brand new team comps makes her a must-pull for me. And if you're a team comp fanatic like me, then she's likely a must-pull for you too. And I simply wanted to bring these points to your attention, that she might be really good with Dendro or something, and just other things to think about in general before you write her off altogether. However, in the end, I know a lot of you are saving up for Kazuha and don't want to mess up your pity, especially if it's guaranteed. Then don't mess around with the banner right now. Keep your guaranteed pity, keep your guaranteed Kazuha safe. I just wanted to simply bring up some of these points to you and hopefully open up your eyes to a couple of things that you might not have thought about before. But let me know if this helped you out. Let me know if it helped you decide whether or not you're going to be wishing on the banner or not, and let me know if you are wishing on the banner or not. But other than that, I hope you guys have a fantastic rest of your day. My name is Blossoms, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.